also a bit of a cheat code for me because I've got people joining the platform, learning to make incredible tracks. I've then signed EPs off people. I've got tracks to play in the club. And it's this kind of whole ecosystem now. Like I felt this feeling inside of me. And literally every single day since that moment, either digging for music, practicing, making tunes, nothing ever felt like work. It was just like this feeling came inside of me.
It's Powertools, and we got Josh Baker in the house. How you doing, my man?
I'm good, bro. A nice weekend in America.
I know. You just played Day Trip Festival. Did a back-to-back with Green Velvet.
Yeah, man, a lot of fun. We did the main stage, and we did an after party as well till 4 a.m. on a haunted boat.
Right.
So, yeah, sick weekend.
So that's got to be crazy doing a back-to-back with like a legend like Green Velvet, right?
Yeah, it's a pinch me moment. I mean, if you told my younger self doing a back talk of him, he'd be buzzing.
Right.
Like, the guy is literally house music history.
Exactly, man. I mean, you remember like his Kashmir stuff, right? Yeah. I mean, Brighter Days, all that stuff.
Yeah, that is the proper stuff. The proper stuff.
Right. That's crazy, man. Well, it's good to have you here. Let's just kind of run down the stuff that you've been doing. You got 2 million Spotify listeners. You're doing your first residency in Ibiza with your You&Me party. You've played Coachella, EDC, Creamfields. Just did the Day Trip Festival. Your new single, My Place, that is amazing. That is fire. But let's go back to the beginning of Josh Baker. And you started off when you were 16 years old and you got on the decks for the first time. And you said, I'm going to be the biggest DJ in the world. For your first time on decks. Like, I guess my question is, where did that confidence come from, or that big dream come from? Where was that built from?
I think I just felt something when I first felt a pair of decks. And I've always been quite an ambitious guy. It was a bit of a throwaway comment, but at the same time, like, I wanna do this. Like, I felt this feeling inside of me. And literally every single day since that moment, either digging for music, practicing, making tunes, nothing ever felt like work. It was just like this feeling came inside of me. And yeah, now almost 14 years later, I think, still chipping away.
That's amazing, bro. But I love the bold statement, though. I mean, that's like, in my opinion, like Michael Jordan shooting a free throw for the first time going, I'm going to be the best player in the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, even with You&Me, you mentioned the residency, like we said from the start, Amnesia every week, Ibiza. People thought we were crazy. Like, we said it from the start quite openly, and sometimes people use that phrase like, I can't believe it, or blah, blah, blah. Like, we actually can believe it because we were super ambitious. But we've worked really hard, and...
Well, you're setting big expectations, which is, I think, you're setting yourself a goal. Like, this is the ultimate goal. And I think that's really, really good from the onset.
Yeah, and I mean, it takes a lot of work to get there, but having that big dream's, like, exciting as well. And yeah, like the guys I work with as well all had this belief as well and just kept chipping away.
I think, it's obvious you like building brands.
My favorite thing is starting from zero, and that's what's weird now because nothing is at zero. And I've had this conversation recently, like what's next? But yeah, there's still so much to do. But yeah, building things from zero is like something which really, really excites me. And
is that kind of like it's the business part? I mean, you have the school, you have You&Me, you have your record label. Like, what is your favorite part of building the brand?
I think it's probably the most unromantic bit, just the consistency of chipping away. I think I'm got quite a good ability to do things without seeing the return straight away, whether it's posting on social media, making music, practicing these things, it's like nothing. Right. And then something happens. Like YouTube, for example, if you look at the graph of YouTube, I've been posting like 5 years. I've still only got like 40,000 subscribers. Right. Like, I know it's a lot of people, but in comparative to like other social media, it's not many. Right. I don't know, I just kind of like enjoy chipping away at things and seeing the thing grow over time. And that's kind of just the unsexy bit of a lot of this. It's just doing the
But
mundane.
You find it fun.
I find it fun, yeah. And like it's almost like you're ticking off the scoreboard, that kind of thing.
Right. You seem like the person that like you'll sit in a meeting for an hour and a half and go over all the details of something.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm also someone who's like, if it's good enough, it's good enough. Like, I'm not always like a perfectionist guy, but it's all about like ticking that box, you know, making that track, getting it finished, moving on to the next one, just kind of always moving forward is how I'd put it.
Right. And let's talk about one of them. It's Syntho, your school. Let's like, you know, that's pretty amazing. You guys have over 700 courses. Why was it important for you to build like this online, you know, I guess production classes? Why was that important to you?
Well, it was really something that I didn't have myself. It felt like everything was so gate-kept like 10 years ago. I remember it took me 3 years to even know sample packs existed and, you know, what plugins were and all this kind of stuff. And you can actually get where you want to be a lot quicker with the right information.
Right.
So like, I wanted to save people the time that I spent. And it very much started with education. And then I realized the power of connection, meeting like-minded people. And then we actually developed all the social features. And yeah, it's kind of like also a bit of a cheat code for me because I've got people joining the platform, learning to make incredible tracks. I've then signed EPs off people. I've got tracks playing the club. And it's this kind of whole ecosystem now. And along with that, it's like another part of my brain I get to use and different challenges. And it just feels like it really completes me as, well, I guess I'm more of an artist, but like I feel like it completes the, you know, the portfolio of things I'm interested in music.
That's amazing. And going back to like DJing, I found it very interesting that you started doing vinyl sets early in your career because you don't see a DJ that's come around in the last 10 years like, hey, I'm doing vinyl sets, and you're including vinyl up until like 2 or 3 years ago in your sets, right?
Yeah. I mean,
why was that important for you?
I think when I started DJing, I bought CDs for the first year. I mean, if people don't know what a CD is, you put like tracks on a round thing. Then a year later, I bought my Technics. And something just spoke to me. I liked the whole idea of like Discogs, going to a record store. And I was kind of in and out. The first maybe 5 years of DJing, I was still trying to find what I really liked. Like, you know, I went to Ibiza. I saw people like Apollonia, Ricardo Villalobos. So they were playing records. But then I also saw like Corolla at the time. He was playing digital. So I was kind of torn between the two. And then at a certain moment, I just decided to choose that path a bit more. And then for a bit, I was touring with just records. But I went to South America once and I took my record bag, had sticks backed up, but I'd really stopped consciously being organized digitally. And I noticed that tour, it was like a kind of a moment where I had this great set in my record bag, but the turntables would not set up properly, gig after gig. So it's kind of sad because one day was the last time. That wasn't the last time, but it was kind of the start of the moment when I realized, okay, maybe I need to be more prepared digitally. And then I think over time, and then, you know, maybe sometimes it's easier and it's more practical.
Of course.
And especially with unreleased music, you don't have to worry about pressing it. But yeah, there's something about it. And I've actually just got a new place in Manchester and I'm moving all my records back to one place. So maybe next year we can do some sets again.
How many crates of records do you have?
I don't know. I've not got like a crazy collection.
Right.
I must have maybe 2,000 records.
Okay.
Like not like some of these guys who've got like 60,000.
Right.
But I mean, it's hard to count. Maybe I've got like 3. I honestly wouldn't be able to tell you. Enough, put it that way.
Right. When you were coming up, who are the DJs that you were listening to? When you're like 16, 17, really trying to figure it out, who was inspiring you at that time?
Well, around that time, Sankey's in Manchester was like the place to be. And there was a party called Tribal Sessions. Big up Darius Sarossian. He was someone I used to watch a lot. And then I went to Ibiza when I was 18. You know, Jamie Jones, of course, around that time was like so influential. And then I just go to Marco Corolla.
Of course.
Just the kind of the obvious ones. But then it was people Apollonia, which really spoke to me in a way which led my taste in a certain direction. And then who else? Like Sonia Munir. I went to Sunwaves when I was maybe 21 and then heard Raw Resh, Raw Deuce. It's been kind of a nice journey of going deeper and deeper down the thing. And then at a certain point, you know, like almost feel like I've heard everything I wanted to hear and then focusing more on songwriting and stuff. But yeah, Apollonia probably would put down like a big thing too.
Right. You're listening to a lot of greats and studying.
Yeah. I mean, I'm grateful for the time I came up. It was like there was just kind of, it was very easy. The top guys were kind of just there, whereas now there's like so much noise. I feel like that. Right. But around that time, I feel like it was quite clear for me to go and listen to.
Right. And that kind of, I think that inspired your production today.
Yeah, I think I've got a nice blend of like a taste of the after parties and then more commercial stuff, like a blend of everything. I focus very much on releasing big singles for the last 18 months, not intentionally to begin with. Like My Place is coming out, which is probably my biggest like song to date. Like I've really wrote something with the intention of like this, I want this to be big. But I've also got folders full of stuff, which, you know, are more of a nod to my old stuff. But next year, I think we'll find the right time to put these out, like a more extended body of work. But yeah, I think there's still like that flavor in my production.
And when I listen to your production, like I think even as a whole, the UK like sound, house sound, there's a little more of a sophistication, it's a little more musical. Is that fair to say?
That's intentional as well. I think if you listen to some of my records that came out maybe 2 years ago, like Handle This was probably the first one I accidentally wrote that was part of this UK movement of sound, and then some other stuff. Whereas now I'm trying to be more intentional, because at the time, like, these happy accidents happen, these kind of like subgenres emerge. But now I'm like trying to move it forward, because I do think it's a bit oversaturated, that certain sound that a lot of people have jumped on. Whereas like I still want to have flavors of that, because it's you know, played a big part in me getting to this point. But I also want to push myself. I find it exciting songwriting, actually physically writing things with people.
What do you find exciting about that, being in a room with songwriters?
I just think the fact, like the lyrical theme, like I remember when me and Prosper wrote You Don't Own Me, and I was the one that said You Don't Own Me, like out loud. And I was kind of nervous at the time. But then like when I realized that they, you know, they resonated with that lyric, it kind of opens up my mind, like, okay, like all these things, because I've always thought subconsciously about writing and things like that, but you feel like maybe you need to be a certain level of musician to be able to say these things. And now I spend a lot of time in different rooms with people, and, you know, you just speak up and things bounce off each other. But yeah, I like the idea of creating something which never existed before. You can be in a room with people. It's always a lot of fun as well. Like genuinely such a buzz with incredible talents all coming together and writing cool stuff.
Right. And it's a lot better being with people than putting an AI prompt in.
I mean, I've not even touched that yet, but I mean, I've seen some people who seem to be getting some like good assistance from it, like ChatGPT asking like for tips on mix sounds I saw recently, which I think is a very good use of AI. But I'll let people discuss in the comments. I'm not getting involved in that.
You're not going to touch that right now. Wow, man. So, I mean, going back, you've been grinding for like, 14 years, or at that point, 10 years, and then you dropped Back It Up. And that's kind of like where I started kind of like Josh Baker started coming into my world. How big was Back It Up for you? How much did that change things for you?
I think it did. Like, I think I was already getting momentum. Like each record was objectively streaming better. You could see the Beatport charts were getting a bit higher. And I hadn't really had that like crossover yet. And when that came out, I didn't even think that much of it. I knew it felt big. But now I think it's on like 35 million streams, maybe more. And it's one that's built as well. Like it goes bigger, and it seems to. I think it's streaming now as kind of well as ever. And I think America, it really opened up to the American market. It was just great timing. It came out like early last year, but it was just a great moment. And then I feel like having that big record when you go and play these big shows, people are excited around it. I think the whole thing just starts to snowball then. And keeping things on your own label, Baker's Dozen, that was, I mean, you thought of that. That was part of building another brand, right? Yeah, that was just more of an outlet of wanting to put, because I'd done a few singles with different labels, and I was like, it makes more sense just to have this, under my own thing, and it gave me creative freedom to put the tunes out when I want, within reason. And yeah, like chipping along nicely, it just makes more sense to put the single out myself versus like a major, for example.
Right. Well, then it still also keeps it a little more underground, a little more cool, a little more.
It's not I think you hear these stories all the time, don't you? People sign this crazy deal with a major label. The next thing you know, they've been asked to write an album, which is what they think is going to be great in the charts. The A&R tells them to do this, that, and the other. Falls flat in the face.
That's it. And you spent 2 years on it.
Yeah, exactly.
And if it doesn't move on the big label.
But I think interestingly, like I'm hearing this through the grapevine from people working majors, I think everyone's kind of now starting to put more trust in the artists. I mean, like, you guys bring your thing to us and we're going to go with it. Because I think the moment of house music we're in now, I don't think any A&R predicted this.
No.
Like, it's kind of on this more, I use the word underground loosely, but it's kind of come from that side into the commercial versus like massive commercial stuff kind of coming down.
And why do you think it's gone? Why do you think it's gone that route? What's your?
I don't.
Would you attribute that?
Well,
to?
it's coming from the UK, right?
Right.
Like it's really coming from the UK. I don't know. I think there was a lot of us that have probably all been inspired by the generation above us. Right. So that hot natured sound from 10 years ago with like Jamie and Rich Ahmed, Waf, all these guys. I think a lot of us, for example, like me, Max Dean, Prosper, like we all got inspired by this thing, and then we've all on similar-ish time frames started to put bigger tunes out. I think we're all starting to collaborate with each other. Then more songwriters have got involved. I think it's just kind of what's the word? I don't know, just so many things happen at once, and it's all
like
just
there's some really good synergy.
Yeah, it's just synergy from like event. For example, You&Me started now almost coming to 11 years. Like that was chipping away. We had a festival. Then you look at other good things going on around. I think everyone was just kind of chipping away on a similar like timeline, and then everything just kind of come together at the same time. And also, I think there became a gap to be filled. Right. From like, I think people got a bit bored of all the big room EDM stuff.
Yes. Big room EDM and kind of big room tech house.
Yeah, big room tech house. It'd all been done. And no doubt this will all be done at some point. But I think everyone had an appetite for new stuff. And yeah, like I mean, I can't think of a time before this kind of vibe that's now. Like Hot Nature thing was just was quite slow. This is all kind of 1:30 party tunes. So I think it was just a evolution of what's been done, but like 10 years ago or so.
Right. My question to you is, in the UK, you guys have this very cool house sound. In the States, a lot of the prominent people are doing more big room tech house. Who do you like? Who's doing house music in the States that you're vibing with?
Good question. I like, I mean, Chris Lake's obviously a beast, producer.
And he's got him very housey lately, which is really
I
good.
Think so. And obviously,
very musical.
Yeah, my boy Clooney, like he's done such a good job of that thing. His track Stephanie, like I remember hearing him play that in Space. Like that is just probably a tune I wish I made. Like what a sample that is. Yeah, I mean Green Velvet. Obviously, he's reinventing himself how many times, and like he's at the forefront of it.
Every year he has something hot.
Something new, man. Yes. So yeah, I think him as well, and it's interesting to watch because it's still kind of like Day Trip the other day. I'm very kind of like not exposed to the big American tech house thing. Really, I've never gone to a rave with that stuff. So Day Trip, even playing with Green Velvet, was kind of a new experience for me, seeing him play some of his tracks that are more leaning on that side. So I'm not super plugged in, but like what Clooney's done out here is insane. Right. Like he's done this and then said bye to England for a few years, but he's coming back. But like, yeah, I'd probably put him up there.
Nice. Let's talk about your residency in Ibiza, which I think is very cool. It's at Amnesia, legendary club. Talk to us about what goes into planning, your You&Me brand residency. What goes into planning that?
Well, all roads led to Amnesia. Like, that was the dream.
Because you had probably went there.
We went there for like 12 years or so now. That was the dream. And then it was the back end of last summer, like the kind of discussion started to circulate. It was like, should we do it? Like, what are the offers from different places? Blah, 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 blah. And it was ultimately on me to commit to doing the residency because of like I have to play each week. So if I'm not willing to commit, then nothing else can kind of progress. And I think all the team knew it was my dream anyway. So it wasn't really a discussion of like, do you want to do this? We did decide together, but we all had to be all in the end. And yeah, we did the deal like towards the end of, I think it was after the end of summer. However, it was the booking was the hard bit because like we knew I had pulled in about Ibiza, but you've got to then program each week. There's so much competition. So that was the next can of worms. And my partner, Kurt, did the most insane job working day and night for months, trying to get things over the line, a few phone calls here and there, and big up every DJ who is playing for us because we know there was other options to go and do other things because there's so many things now.
Who are some of the DJs you have playing at the residency?
Shout out Prosper, Max Dean, Katama, Silver Bumper. We've got Moxie, Sersha. Honestly, each week is stacked. LP Rhythm. Like every single week, we've got killer names. So buzzing with that Luciano, Jamie Jones. I could go on it. Like it's kind of crazy. When we put the flyer out, people went insane. But yeah, since we did that, we did Sonar the other week, but we kind of, now we had that, it was like step everything back a bit across the rest of the calendar so we can put all attention on that. But we come out of that season and do 2 Warehouse Project shows in Manchester. So like we're not going to do too much this year. Focus on Ibiza. If other things come up to us, but that is the sole focus of the crew now.
That's dope. I mean, that's to be going to Ibiza back when you're like 18, 21 to now have a residency. That's got to be same thing with the Green Velvet.
I think this probably is like the biggest week of my DJing career. I think it's going to be one where I tell myself now, like, smell the air, take a breath when you go and do it, because there's been times when things have gone, like, I'm here now. The residency say it's done. To think that all that work that was ahead of me when I was 18, and like some of it I didn't even, just gone.
You didn't even get to enjoy it.
And now it's like, take the moment. When I walk into that club, and you can smell the cigarettes, the tequila sticking to the floor, it's like enjoy the moment. So yeah, I mean, we're 3 sleeps out from that, and it's gonna be crazy, man.
That's sick, man. Now that when you explain your music and the people that you listen to coming up, do you ever listen? I guess my question is, do you ever listen to like classic like 90s New York house? Because I hear some of that in
So which artists, for example?
Like Masters at Work.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I was playing, what did I play with Green Velvet the other day? It was a compilation by I think it was Jeremy Underground. What's the track called now? Javian.
Was that a Masters at Work track? Yeah. Okay,
like
right.
I didn't see it. I was playing some with Green Velvet, because we basically said, right, the after party, let's go a bit deeper. But yeah, like all that stuff, like amazing, the vocal production, the synths, like it's big inspiration. Right,
that's dope, man. So what else do you have in the works? I mean, obviously you have so much with all the brands. What's the rest of the year looking like for Josh Baker?
Well, I've kept most Fridays off so we can enjoy the Thursdays as much as possible. Back over to the States at the start of August. I'm doing a double show in New York. Got a Vegas residency, so I'm doing a few more shows there. Arc with Green Velvet again in Chicago. And yeah, week to week, like I've got my own hide and seek festival, which is in 3 or so weeks. So that's in the countryside of England, like a super amazing location.
Talk to us about that festival and how it got started and everything.
Yeah, I mean, again, it was a crazy idea, probably an after party to begin with. And we had this room in the festival, and first things first, find a site. So we did crazy stuff like drive and knock on farmers' doors and all this kind of stuff. In the end, my mum said there's this wedding venue called Capeston Hall. You should go and have a chat with them. And we were like, there's no way that's going to work, blah, blah, blah. Went and pitched to them. And I mean, long story short, the festival went ahead. I think we underestimated times 1,000 what goes into trying to put something like that on. But we're actually moving sites this year to do camping. So we're moving from one day. We've done 5 years of one day. But like, it's not a good business model. Setting up a massive festival to only let people come for one day, it's not. So we've had to really kind of take a hit to move forward. I mean, I'm sure.
So now it's going to be a 2-day festival.
3-day camping's a big step up, big change of kind of what we're offering is very different. So it's probably going to come with a whole new set of problems, but also a whole new experience for people to come. We really want to have something where people can get immersed in the music. So like you're there somewhere for 3 days. You wake up. It's different, if you go to somewhere and you leave that night, it's not like a full experience. It's more just kind of you popping out for a few hours. So we were really adamant. This was the kind of.
Are you camping there?
It's a good question. I'm actually not sure yet. I'm playing Saturday, Sunday, and I'm playing Amnesia the Thursday, so I probably won't. I might just camp Saturday night. But yeah, like Amnesia was the North Star for You&Me. Camping multi-day was the North Star for hide and seek from day one. So we're there now, but it's no joke. Like the moving parts of that. But I'm excited. It's going to be like we kind of conquered the 1 day thing. I use that word loosely, but. We did amazing. We maxed out what we could do in 1 day with the venue, so we had to take a step forward, which is going to be different, but like super excited.
That's exciting, man. Well, you seem like you got a lot on your plate. You still got to figure out some flights right now.
Yeah, man. I mean, we got the dreaded text. The flight's cancelled. That's the first bad cancellation I've had. So I've got to get to Hideout Festival for tomorrow, 8 p.m. And I'm currently in LA, and it is 12:30,
All right.
and there's like one more flight that's available to book. So hopefully, I want to check my phone in a sec, so I'll be resolved. But
well, thank you for making time with us. Keep the music coming. We'll keep on supporting right here on
pleasure,
Powertools,
man. Thank you very much for having me.
Powertools.